All right. Good evening, everybody, and good afternoon for the West Coast folks. Back here with the Roofer Masterclass. I am your host, Pete, with my co host, Nick. And we are definitely pumped about this one and glad to see a lot of you folks jumping on here. Just if you guys have any questions along the way, just to start with this, feel free to jump into the chat there and pop them in there. We'll do our best to answer along the way as we're, moving through this. But, very, very excited about this, Nick. It's back.
It's back.
It's back, right? So, for you that have been around a while, you know that we used to have what we called the Roofer Calculator. Uh, if it's news to you, we did have a product called the Roofer Calculator. We removed it from the market, and now it is back, and it has renamed itself the Instant Estimator. So, we are super pumped about that, right, Nick?
Super. I got goosebumps, man. It's exciting. It's back. It's better. It's cooler. It's more customizable. It's going to blow you guys away. So I've been playing with it for in the staging environment that we have set up for it for 2 days straight, and just trying to see like what it can do. And like I'm keep on coming up with ideas. It just won't stop of all the ways that you can kind of implement it into your day to day.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's start by just talking about the use case of it, right? Like, how does this come into play? How can this help me as a roofer? What can it do for me? And I think obviously, the biggest question for everybody now is, you have all these marketing companies and SEO companies and this and that, and, all different ways that I can market. I've got, companies that sell leads to us and companies that offer free ways to gain leads. And, there's just so many options out there, and what we've done here is create a tool that helps you to generate qualified leads from your own marketing and your own website, right?
Yeah, it's really cool the amount of things that you can do. And you like you have those big names that you kind of mentioned that are out there, the Michael Stearns, the Tim Brown, the Patrick Carr, the Joseph Hughes, the TJ McCormick. All of them are preaching the same thing: bring people into you, create a story for yourself, and get people to come this way. Now we have a tool that you can put on all those channels, your websites, your TikToks, your Facebooks, your YouTubes, your everything, to put in there to generate those leads, to make sure that it's not just you're capturing their attention, but you're capturing their information as well to get them out some quotes.
Yeah, I mean, the greatest thing that I love about this is, you have so many different ways that leads could potentially come in, right? You
Hmm.
have maybe your yard signs or your door hangers, social now, is a huge one, right? Like you said. And now you have a place where you can drive all this traffic, right? So whether that be a landing page that this thing lives on, whether that be directly to your website, which is, I think, the best use case, because then they're seeing your story, like you said, and they're having an opportunity to use this awesome tool all in one package. But now you can kind of like funnel everybody to this tool and really just instantly qualify them, right? Like you're instantly taking them to this tool that allows them to get a quick estimate, but allows you to really get all the information that you need from them, to really qualify them on the potential of them being a customer, right? And I think that's the biggest piece of this.
Yeah, and it's pretty powerful. Like you mentioned door hangers, you mentioned signs and stuff. Like people are always looking at that. If you're driving down the road, I know where I'm from up in Toronto, you're driving, you see signs on the side of the road in front of houses saying like, "Hey, Bob's roofing here." If you put like even a QR code on there for someone to look at it, or a website that's easy enough for the people to just to jump on it, get to your website, see that that company's story, show them who you are, what you've done, and now have a link built in there to, exactly like you said, instantly qualify them. Customers can go on, and we'll show you in a bit, but can go in there, show them, put in their address, put in what their rough square footage is, the pitches of their roof, what material they have on the roof, and what material they desire. And it will really be customizable to what you offer. It's so, so cool. Get them a instant price out. That's a ballpark price immediately. I don't know how many times we've said this on these master classes, Pete, but it's 2022. People want things now. They do not
Yeah.
want to wait. They could go on to Amazon and figure this out. Why should roofing be anything different? We should get them the information that they want right away, and then capture their information for us to now follow up on it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the way that everything in our life is moving, right? Is this instant gratification, this idea of like, hey, I want to be able to shop and see what I'm getting into right now. So
Mhm.
imagine I'm the roofer out there, like if I'm one of the roofers listening, or someone out in the field, imagine being able to put yourself in a situation where, you know, you're giving away instant quotes pretty much, right? Like ballpark estimates, and the other guys are still having to schedule appointments and go out. You're like 3 steps ahead of them, right?
Oh yeah.
Like you're so far ahead of them by the time they get out there to run that appointment, because that customer already knows who you are, already has a price in hand, that you just maybe you have to kind of like tweak it a little bit based on what you find when you go out there and run your appointment, but at least they have an idea of what they're paying before you even get there. And that's the beauty of this thing.
Yeah, get that information out. We were at Riva Impact 3 weeks ago or something like that, and John DeRosa from SRS was talking about selling, and he was talking about like how instantly you're always going to have one objection that it's going to be price. Why hide that? Show it up front. And what he said of ways to attack that objection is talk about your customer story, get them to a company story, get them to buy in. Talk them about your product story, get them to buy in. Your installation story, get all that moving. And what better way to differentiate yourselves and talk about your company story to your customer than to get them quotes out, to differentiate yourselves. That's a hard word to say out loud. Differentiate yourself from your competition by giving them this really interactive, cool tool that's going to give them live pricing right away. That's going to be able to capture their information so then you could follow up with a roofer report, a roofer proposal, and get that transparency and education out to them right away. There's one thing that I heard that I loved hearing about with you on the podcast last week with the guys from Lead Scout. Really, really interesting. And this is another kind of cool thing. When I was listening to it, I was like, oh man, the instant estimator is going to be great for that as well. Canvassing and scouting.
Yeah,
It will open up the door to that now. So now instead of the door knocking on someone's door and, hey, Mrs. Jones, I see that you had some damage. We had a big storm come in here recently. Would you mind if I go up there and do a free inspection for you? Okay, you could still do that. Or, hey, Mrs. Jones, I see you might have some damage. We had a big storm coming over here. Do you want to quickly just sit and look at this? It will take 26 seconds for us to go through. I can give you a ballpark price. Then I can go up there and do an inspection to see if there's any damage. Maybe the insurance would be able to buy that.
it's
It's a game
huge.
changer.
It's a game changer. Yeah. It changes your whole approach, right? And think of it, even if you're, we talked a lot about kind of the circle prospecting idea on that, podcast of like, hey, I'm in the neighborhood. I'm just going to hit up the 10 houses or the 5 houses, whatever it may be, directly around where I'm actually working. Imagine being able to just walk up to those houses and be like, hey, you know, let's just take a look at your roof really quick and then give you a quick quote, right? Right on the spot, and I'll leave this number with you. Call me if you need me, right? Like it's a brilliant idea. And it could change the whole way you approach customers, and approach things like scouting out areas and prospecting, how you present your marketing, right? Like it can all feed to this thing. And it's just amazing, the tools. Like I remember one story, someone saying that they work a lot with, real estate agents, and the real estate agents would constantly call and be like, hey, can you send one of your guys out to quote, right? And he said, back in the day when we had the calculator, he said I would just give him the link to the calculator, tell the real estate agent, put the address in there, pull the square footage, and get a ballpark estimate. And while you're selling the house, you can literally say, hey, house needs a roof. I already pulled up an estimate from a local roofer, here it is. Right? That's like genius. Like, because now not only do they, you know do they get a number on the spot, but you're potentially capturing that customer or prospective customers info before they've even bought a house, probably, right? So, it's just crazy. It's crazy, all the use cases for this thing.
It's set up for you to win, and that's kind of what we're looking at is like let's how can we kind of implement this into your daily schedule that's not going to reset the wheel for you, but it's going to make what you're good at even better and more streamlined. What we've done here at Roofer, we've streamlined the reporting process so you can order a report from down to $10 and get it in less than 3 hours. That's great. Now let's streamline the proposals. Sure, all those measurements now port directly over to proposals, and you get a beautiful, detailed presentation that you can give to the customer and get e-signature on there. So we streamline that next. Now we've streamlined top of funnel. So we've got there, the leads come in, we can qualify them, order a roof report, and build out a proposal and send it out all in really less than 3 hours. This could it completely change your business. I talked to a guy the other day, a roofer out of St. Louis, Missouri, and he was talking about, he's like, yeah, I got like, it's Tornado Alley. I'm very busy with stuff, but I also work with 12 investment companies that have hundreds and hundreds of houses, and they need quotes quick. I was saying, yeah, like our system's set up for that. We can get a measurement within 3 hours or less. You can get a proposal out in seconds after that. But now I told him, I was like, just Tuesday, just come out to our instant estimator masterclass, because you're going to see something that's going to make those investors just get so excited and just want to work with you more. Just keep on bringing in those customers. And then we always talk about word of mouth. What better word of mouth than, I went to this guy's site and in 26 seconds or like 30 seconds, I got a quote, and they called me like 30 minutes later, and then they sent me out a proposal. I just can't even believe it. Like usually you're waiting days and days and trying to chase down a roofer. Now they're going to be coming to you.
Yeah. You know what I love about it is we're moving more and more towards a completely contactless sales, like the entire sales process being contactless. And I think, is it the greatest thing ever? Maybe not, right? Like it's still nice to be face to face with these people, but it allows us to potentially capture those newer customers that are looking for that type of experience, right? They may not want to have a salesman come out and go up on their roof. They may just want to say, like, hey, let me go to a website, put in some information and see what the price is going to be, kick me back a proposal, and let's go ahead and get the ball rolling on this thing. And this thing is feeding now our entire process. Like you said, it's probably the most innovative thing that we've released to this point. And it's amazing how it all is now ties together to create this package that allows you to create a contactless sales process if you want, right? Or to just supplement what you guys are already doing, which is, hey, look at all these steps that I can do before I even come to talk to you, right? Like I can literally show up at your house to do an inspection and you could have a proposal in your hand, or I could already have it ready to go. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about saving days over the course of a week for us as the contractor, and saving so much time for the customer that it will make sense. Like, why would they not go with us? It's the whole speed to lead idea, right? Like we've essentially mastered that speed to lead idea where now, we're going to get to that contract. We're going to get to that customer quicker than any contractor, hands down. Right. Like
And
we're going to, well, I mean, the fact that we could, like you said, complete the process in under 3 hours, most guys aren't even going to call that customer back in that amount of time.
yeah, it's going to just speed up everything there. It's going to help those customers get what they need. We've said it before on these things that customers are normally not planning to do their roof. It's one of the last things that they're thinking about. It's not a sexy purchase and they don't realize how much it costs. So when it's happening, when they're looking for roofers, it's probably a bad time. It's probably leaking already. They're seeing that there's missing shingles, there's exposed plywood. They want things quick. And we are traditionally roofers, not quick. So now we could speed this up and give them something that they want. They don't have to spend the time researching the material. They don't have to spend the time researching the company. Show them everything up front. And like we said, we're completing that process from lead to measurement to proposals in such a short period of time. It's just going to make a world of difference in not only your business, increasing your revenue, closing more jobs. Your salespeople are going to be happier than ever because they're going to be closing things left, right, and center, making good commission, and your name's going to expand more across your region. Bob's Roofing is going to be known from left, like every corner of the town, because
Yeah.
they're like, Bob's Roofing has a QR code on their door hanger that they just dropped off, or I almost went so Canadian there. It's like, or at the rink. I realize not everybody goes to hockey rinks, but at the rink, there I see Bob's Roofing sign up there, and if you just go to his website, you can get a quote within seconds. Like it just makes so much sense now. It speeds up the process like tenfold. It's not even a question.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure everybody came here just to hear us talk about it, but
I
what they
know.
probably want to do is see it. So
Yeah.
let's dive into it and actually show them what we got here. So you're going to go ahead and share your screen, right, Nick? And we're going to take a look at this thing and kind of walk us through it. We'll see, you guys will see just what the product looks like and how easy it is to set up. Just that's what blows my mind is how incredibly easy it is to get this thing rolling. But let's take a look at it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what we're going to look at first is what the customer would see coming through. I figured we kind of do Quentin Tarantino style, start at the end and go to the beginning.
I like
So
it.
if the customer sees your QR code or a link on your website that says get a free estimate, or on your social posts, on your TikToks, on your YouTube, on your ads that you're sending out, whatever, they can go to that, and that customizable link that we're going to show you how to build after this can bring them directly to here. Now I've set some things up already in the back end, so I'm going to show you what it looks like and how we could change it as we go along. But they can go out there and they can type in an address. It would have your logo up here, which is beautiful, nice and easy to look at. And they can go in here and go, here's my address. Let my keyboard connect there. 111 South Cali de Maria. There we are. That's my address. I'm going to click it in. It's going to take a capture of the square footage of the footprint brought to you from our providers here. If the customer thinks that that's wrong or wants to change it in any way, they can change it by putting this in. But say this is 23 and a half squares that this building is. You're going to go to continue. You're going to say that it's a low slope roof. Currently on the roof right now, I have asphalt. It's a residential home. I do want to go back with asphalt, I think. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And I'd probably want this done in the next 1 to 3 months. And this is what the customer is looking at and how quick we're already on step 7. Doesn't take long to do this. Click on that there. They want it in 1 to 3 months. Are you interested in financing? Guys, we have some great financing partners and friends out there in the finance world. We have Mosaic, we have Service Finance, Chris Scoville. I think I saw you in the comments. So what up? So you can go, yes, I am interested in it. And the customer could add some info in here. Roof is leaking right now. Need help now.
Hurry.
Please hurry. There we are, and hit continue. They're going to put in their information. So I'm going to go Bob Paul. That's a weird name, but that sounds good.
Two
Bob,
first names.
yeah, Ricky Bobby, Paul, and put in their phone number. We just captured all the critical information that we need: the address, the phone number, their email address, and their name. They're going to click on get my estimate, and instantly my company, the roofing company logo company, is going to provide them with some ballpark pricing based on the square footage that is multiplied by that pitch that we put in, the low, medium, and steep pitch, and then multiplied my price per square and show them what it is. I got asphalt would be around $9,400. Metal would be 16,541. It does say, please be advised, these are not final prices, because I'm sure that's a question that's going to be asked out there. What if
Sure.
there's some changes? What if there's a second layer? What if there's rotten plywood? This is a quick estimate, not a proposal, an estimate. And you can customize what they're looking at so they understand, oh, this is an asphalt shingle. It's a petroleum based roof shingle that uses asphalt for waterproofing. It's one of the most widely used roofing covers in North America. 25 to 50-year warranty with a 50 to 150-mile-an-hour wind rating. I made that super vague on purpose because that covers 3-tab to architectural shingles, but we can have that all lined in there. You could then click on I'd like this proposal, and your request has been received. That's how quick it is for the customer. That can't be much quicker than that. And you're getting all that information and getting that all in. And Chris will show you about the tile stuff as well, which is really great. Great.
Yeah.
So what this looks like on our end is your roofer dashboard is going to change. Now this isn't live yet. Again, we're in the staging environment here, but what you'll see now is you're going to have this nice little leads button underneath your jobs, customers, proposals, and measurements. I made the analogy before. It's like a Russian nesting doll. You have your customers. Inside that customer, you have your jobs. Inside those jobs, you have measurements and proposals. Well, now the bigger one is now the leads. Inside leads, we have customers, the information, the jobs, the measurements and proposals. So you have now a leads dashboard that you can go through and take a look at. You have the customer's information, the estimate that they got on your website, the customer's personal information, their name and their email and everything here. You have the status of it, and then you have it assigned and when it was created. Already pretty dope, right? About to blow your mind. So you can click into this here and you can see all the information even more. The roof square foot area, everything that went in, the note that the customer left for you, the thing that they selected, and you can say, I got to call Bob Paul because I need to ask about his name, first of all, because that's a crazy name. But I also need to talk to him about his roof. So giving him a call, setting meeting for Wednesday. All right, because I can't spell, I'm going to correct that. But you could submit this. This is an internal note for your team. It will put your name on and timestamp when it was. So then you've already talked to Bob Paul, asked him about his weird name, and you talked about his roof, and you're like, all right, let's get everything going for you. So this new lead has just become qualified. When you hit qualified, mind you, this is a staging environment, so ignore those red bars, but it will automatically create a job for you. Like you just hit qualified, boom, I've created a job. And from this job, I could order a report, I could do a DIY, I could create a proposal. I already have that note that we talked about already in there. The customer's name's in there and everything else is that there. If you go back, you could assign this lead to somebody. I need to assign this to my sales rep, John, because John's going to be running this lead. I can make a note in here. Oopsies. I broke the staging environment. But you can have that information come out right away to them. So you're ready to go and it's easy to do. So that's the beauty about this is now you can kind of have that qualified, assigned to the right person and make those notes. If you called this person and they didn't answer, so you left a voicemail, not a problem. You could hit that it's working. We have now like a mini pipeline to your leads that is set up. So from here, you can go from measurement to proposal to more. It's it's insanely easy right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is an incredible tool. You see how quickly a customer can go through it. They fire off a couple of questions there and we're capturing their information, right? And it's incredible how quickly, it's going to build out this pipeline for us. I love the fact that it's now taking all of our lead sources, right? Whether that be Facebook, TikTok, yard signs, all of that stuff. And it's funneling it to one spot and organizing it all in here, right? So now I don't have to worry about, like let's say I'm a CRM user, right? Most of the time, if I'm getting leads from all these multiple sources, I've got to do one of two things. I've either got to manually enter all of those customers' information, or I've got to create a ton of zaps to all these different sources that potentially bring that customer's information in. Those are not always the best. They don't always communicate the greatest, right? So, or I'm going to have like a ton of integrations that I'm be paying for, right? So, like here's a way to drive all of this stuff through one source right into where you can pull the report, you can quote and everything. And it's just the organization piece for me is just huge. And the fact that it's just auto populating all of those leads. So I can go in every day and just look and see where my new leads are, right? Jump on those new leads, do whatever I got to do with them, change the status of them, call them, email them, whatever the case may be. And then I go in, I adjust the status. It creates jobs for me if they become qualified. So now I can start the process inside of Roofr. I mean, it's genius. It's so easy to use. It just makes sense, right? Like it just makes sense to do it this way because it's just so easy to push everybody to this calculator or to this estimator and just have it feed straight into our system.
Yeah, we're always on those Facebook groups and we're seeing that like people are like, how are you getting leads? Are you going to any of those big lead aggregators that you buy leads for? And then you always see the marketing guys go out and say, stop doing that, generate your own leads through SEO, through social, through presence, through word of mouth, through door hangers, through door knocking. The list is endless. And now we're able to bring this all back together and like you said, under one house, be able to have everything in, qualify everything, make it easy, make it understandable, so that you now have that one true source, that source of truth. It's basically the same thing I just said twice, but that source
Okay.
of truth that's going to allow you to aggregate all these deals and understand where they're coming from. It just makes life so much simpler for you and all that effort, let's be honest, doing social, keeping up with the trends. TJ McCormick made a great post today saying that you have YouTube Shorts, you have TikTok, you have Instagram Reels, you have Facebook Lives. He said you should be posting on all these 4 times a day. 4 times a day. That's tough, and he does it better than anybody. What he has, 2.25 million
Yeah, like
people, like
250,000 users
two hundred fifty
or
thousand people
yeah,
users, quarter
subscribers or
million.
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy, crazy, right?
and so he has that all set up, which is great. He's able to get that all moving, and it's easy for him to kind of flow and get that there. But that's hard work. So why leave your hard work out and not allow yourselves to kind of see the fruits of your labor? This system now is going to be able to do it. You saw me create this quote through the customer entry. I was able to assign it. I was able to draw something out. And now I could create a proposal as simple as this by creating this measurement and then using this multi-option template and creating a quote with I think four options on it. And you went from the customer coming in, you could even create this stuff before they even call and send it out.
Yeah.
Tire kickers, it's a real thing. We get them all the time. How much effort did I have to put in to quote that tire kicker? Before, you would really have to dig deep and qualify to see, is this worth it? Is this something that I really want to do, and get everything moving on it? Or I could just get a quote out, send it out to them, and follow up with them. It's
Yeah.
that easy now.
I mean, that's the incredible part. Like we were saying, the speed to lead thing is so incredibly fast now with this. Like like you just did a DIY, right? And if
Mhm.
you DIY this, you could literally have it back instantly. If you're pulling a measurement through us, 3 hours or less, right? Like that's incredible. Like you said, you could have a finished polished proposal that looks like this. You got your PDFs in there, you've got your order details, you've got multiple options, good, better, best, whatever you want to do with that. Bring in your company cam photos, right? All of those things that you could do here. You could do it a lot of this before you even get out there, right? Like you could literally do this before you even set foot on the property. And that's incredible, right? Like
It just
you go from someone hitting your website to this in a matter of minutes.
have everything for them. They're looking for this. Let's start giving the customers what they want. It really makes it so much easier. And you could use this on your tablet. So door knocking makes it easier. Or if you're at a job fair, you have like a TV open and the customer can just come by and type in their address and get a quote instantly.
We love that.
People will they will poop their pants. I was going to say something else. They'll freak out. They're like, this is not real. And yes, you can. You could turn it around, sign it by the customer. They could pick one or multiple there. It's just so easy to go from now a prospect to a lead to a signed contract, which is so cool. But I'm sure everybody's looking and they're making some comments. That's great, but they're probably wondering, yeah, this sounds cool, but it's probably hell to set up, right? That's probably the next question. Well, it's not. I feel like the slap chop guy, just like, you think, but it's not.
But
So
it's
now,
not.
yeah, exactly. but
No,
but
and I think
here's
that
now.
I think that is a question that everybody has. I've seen it pop up a couple times in here. For you guys asking, it is we are planning to put this live probably in the next couple of weeks, right, Nick?
Yeah,
So, like it said, it's in staging here, it's in testing. Like we're just working the kinks out, and and I think he's going to show you right here just how simple it is to set this up.
yeah, it's going to be so good and easy to do. So one of the cool things is you can come through us. Our sales agents are going to be happy to walk you through this. Our onboarders and customer success team are going to be very helpful to setting this all up as well. But you can go in here and go Instant Estimator in your company profile. You can click on this and you have your pricing and your page link. Pretty simple. If I want to add something, say I do asphalt and metal, but I do tile as well, as Chris said in the comments there, I can go add sloped pricing. Could select the material, tile. My tile price is, let's just say, $12 for low slope per square foot. We have $13 for moderate slope and $15.50 for the steep slope. I have already a description in here, but I could add things in like, make your home the envy of the neighborhood. You could make this into whatever you want, anything in there saying heat is really cool as well. You can do whatever you want with this stuff, which is really, really cool. Like it's really customizable. You already have this in. You want to go back and edit it and add some stuff in, and then delete things, add things, whatever the case is. This is what the customers are going to see, so you could kind of customize it to your own language. That was one of the things when the Instant Estimator was the calculator. People loved it. You guys screamed when we took it away, but it wasn't customizable. It always gave you the three options. It would always give you shingles, metal, cedar, and tile. But most of these people didn't use some of those materials, and they couldn't kind of customize the message that they're sending out. So we listened, and we're like, time to revamp it. And this is what we have. Say for the flat roofing too, you do EPDM as well. Well, I have EPDM. It's 13.15 there. And you already have some pricing, like a ballpark description in there. I could even add in modified bitumen there, which is going to be 15, 50, 56. I'm adding numbers as you can see, but you could have that all in. And why don't I add in cedar roofing as well here? So for cedar roofing, it's going to be $12 to start, 13 and 15. You can see how easy this is to set up. I have an entire setup system, and there's only one step left to do. Page link. You can customize this to saying it's Pete's Roofing is the link. I could update that. It's Pete's Roofing there. Or I could go back to my roofing company. Update that. And this is now your link. This is your unique link that you could put on your marketing material. You can create a QR code on it just by right clicking on there and creating the QR code. You could put it into your website. You could put it into your TikToks, your videos, your social, your everything, your ads, whatever the case may be. This will be your link. And when you open it up and customers click on it, oops, I went too high there. When you open it up and customers click on it, they're back at this stage. They can now order a report very, very quickly. So my address is 1371 Newton Avenue in San Diego. We'll pick this one. Here we are. We have a square footage in there, and this is for a flat roof. That sounds good. It's 133 squares. I'm going to say it's flat this time. I only had TPO in before. I just added EPDM and modified bitumen, so that's showing there. It's that easy to take them away as well. Maybe the supply chain's rough and you can't offer modified bitumen anymore. We'll delete it from our instant estimator. You do not have to call a website guy to redo this and get this all fixed out. It is so easy just to modify this. So this person is in San Diego. Most likely they're not going to be using the mod bit. They're probably going to use that TPO. They're going to say that it's a commercial building. I would like to go back with TPO. I want it done now. And yes, I want financing. I want to not be able to pay for all this up there. Leaking, and our tenants are pissed. There you are. His name is Barry Manilow. I can't even know how to spell his name, but barry@barry.com. And here we are. This works for commercial and residential. It's not just like one thing or not. You have it for commercial and residential. You're able to get commercial leads now. You're able to get residential leads now. HOAs, investor groups, real estate agents, you name it. This is your go-to. You could see the rough pricing because it's based on what you put in, and they could ask for a proposal. I know that they mentioned in TPO, but why not show the other things that you do? You're proud of what you do as a roofing company. You've worked hard to show that you can do cedar, you can do metal, you can do TPO, you can do mod bit. So let them pick and show them the differences. Everything that we put in there is already there. I'd like a proposal. Sounds good. And it's sent and it's into your file again. Going back in here, there it is. Barry Manilow. That quick. It's so great. It's so fun to use, and couldn't be happier to send that out to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing to note here, like I saw a question earlier about how easy is it to set up, or were you guys going to show it? I mean, that's literally it. I mean, it literally took Nick minutes to plug in our pricing and create our own customized, our own unique link, and that's it. I mean, you go to your website, and it's essentially as easy as adding a hyperlink. Create yourself a call to action, whatever that may be. get your quote in 30 seconds or less, whatever you want to call it, right? Customer clicks on that, it goes straight to this, and there you have it. You're capturing leads, right? Now you just drive traffic to your web page and get and get them to click on that call to action, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
And like Nick said, the beauty of this is that once you have that URL, you can post that thing everywhere, right? You're adding it to your social, you're adding it to, your marketing everywhere. Any kind of QR codes can lead to it. You can create a landing page for it if you want to go that route. Maybe you're a brand new, maybe I'm a brand new contractor. Maybe I just started out. I don't even have a website for my company yet. I can create a landing page that just has this thing on it,
Hmm.
right? And just drop this on it and just drive traffic to it. I don't even have to have a web page yet, right? So it's just an incredible tool and so easy to set up and start pumping leads through it. It's just, and we're not talking about just leads that we're cold calling. I mean, these are leads that we've got substantial information on, leads that have already seen our pricing, right? So they know what they're getting into. We're essentially eliminating tire kickers for the most part, right? Because anybody who's a tire kicker is going to see that and potentially just walk, right? So if they're clicking on the button that says "Get me an estimate" or "Give me a proposal" here, they're seeing the price and they're still interested. So that's a great qualifying tool, right? Like these are warm leads, if not hot leads, coming straight to my Roofr dashboard. And what more can I ask for as a contractor?
You're getting people who are interested in getting their roof, and you're finding them. You're putting out your information and they're coming to you. You don't have to create like marketing campaigns that you're reaching out and going out there. You're finding people that are really curious on getting everything done. And as you can see in this instance, and while you were talking, I was able to get a quote that was 20 seconds maybe. I was able to do it for metal instead. That shows up first. Here are the other things I offer. So in case they want to try out different prices and they could pick what they would like a proposal. The customization that I've already done, it's right there. It's ready to go and easy to pick. They're going to go with metal this time and it's set up for you guys to succeed. You can create this landing page for you on anywhere. A great example of what it would look like. I'm going to go to my parents' company page and go here. This is not live on their page, but they have their web page and they have CTAs everywhere. Get a free estimate today, get a free estimate today. On every page, they have get a free estimate today, finance your roof and get a free estimate. These links can be directly for this hyperlink now, and it can bring them directly to the landing page that you have that there and you're ready to get that estimate. You're able to really, really change up everything that you're doing by just adding this into every situation that you're in there.
Yeah, and I saw a comment here, and that I just want to touch on that Devin posted, right? So what it's doing, Devin, keep in mind that this is just giving them an instant quote. So it's giving a ballpark estimate, right? It's not pulling in a full blown proposal. We're still leaving that up to you to be able to go in there and build yourself out a really nice, polished, full blown proposal that you can present to them after you speak to them or after you run that appointment. What it's doing here is just taking per square pricing that you've put in when you're setting up your estimator. It takes minutes, right? You saw Nick just plug it in. He's just putting in the price per square foot for whatever type of roofing materials you offer. And then based off of that and the square footage that it pulls based off of their address, our system will find their house, pull the square footage. Keep in mind, one thing to keep in mind too, if you're in a very rural area and maybe by some odd chance we don't have imagery and it can't pull their square footage, they do have the ability, like Nick said, to put in their square footage. So they can always use this tool regardless of the situation. They can plug in their square footage there, just type it in, and it's going to work. The tool's going to work exactly the same, right? It's going to still take them through the questions. It's going to apply that square footage number to the per square pricing that you put in on the back end, and it's going to kick them out a ballpark number.
And it says right here too, over there in big bold letters, it's going to be asterisked here and there. Please be advised, these are not final prices and they would be subject to change upon more information gathered on the project. This used to be what we had with it when we had our marketplace. And I used to do the phone calls for the marketplace. And so a good idea of just kind of creating an example of that phone call that comes out after you captured their information. So this person's name was Doug Gilmore. It's like, hey, may I speak to Doug, please? Hey, Doug, it's Nick calling from Bob's Roofing. Just wanted to see that you put in some information on our website and you were looking for a roof quote. Is that correct? Yes, it is correct. That sounds great. Now, I just wanted to get a couple bits more pieces of information to kind of complete the story here. So, what's going on with your roof? What are the issues? Start to qualify them as we're going along, and then say, that's great. What we'll do is we're going to order a formal roof estimate for this. So, we're going to order a roof measurement. We're going to take that and build a specified proposal based on the information that you provided on our website and based on the information that you provided on this phone call today. In a couple hours, I'll be able to send this out to you via email, and I'd be happy to set up another call to go over this. That's it. You're qualifying them. You're talking about that. Yeah, that's a ballpark estimate that was put on your site, Mr. Gilmore. There, that is a pretty accurate representation for an overview. Now I see that you typed in yourself 1,500 square feet. One thing to keep in mind, that's not covering your garage and it's not covering your porch. So the estimate might change a little bit. So let me please pull a measurement on it. There's no charge to you. No time will be wasted, and I'll get this out to you very quickly. It's all about how you present it to them as a client and giving them that information up front. This is a great way to get their customer in the door and now let your salespeople shine, let your office managers shine and get out there and get them that information from A to Z real quick. Because if you remember, we have that Russian nesting doll here. The leads turn into our customers, turns into our jobs, turns into our measurements and proposals, and ultimately turns into signed quotes.
I love it. And I think that's the biggest thing to know. Like this tool is literally to get people in the door. I mean, that's like you said, that's the best thing, the best way to putting this, right? Like this is just to get those people in the door to us so that we can then reach out, schedule that appointment, and then run them through our process, right? And that's the key. Like our lead section here becomes the door, right? It becomes the gatekeeper. It's where all that information lives. You know, when I was on the CRM side, we used to train people. You go into that lead section every day, you look at all the new leads that have come in, and that's where you start working, right? And that's how you start your day every day. Like, let's take a look at the new stuff that came in, assign them to the reps, let the reps get rolling on them, and there you have it, right? They can schedule their appointments, or someone in the office can schedule appointments for them. And but now these are not just leads coming from who knows where, right? That could, potentially be, just some person who randomly filled out your information on Facebook or something. These are people who probably went to your website or your landing page. They filled this information out. They went through the questions, right? So they're not, spam or fake. Like, these are legitimate people that took the time to go in there, answer the questions, and get themselves a ballpark estimate. And that's huge, right? Like, it's weeding out so many potential bad leads by putting it through this process.
Yeah, you're going to get the people that are interested. And as you can see from this lead stage, we could say that now that this lead is being worked on, and say, John, please meet out at that from at this time. Once he meets with that person and qualifies it, it is now qualified. If it's disqualified, not a problem. You can just go disqualified, and it's no longer a thing that you have to look at. It's here, it's marked as disqualified. You have all these qualified jobs. If this is a little busy for you, don't worry. We have the ones that are new, the ones that are working. We have the qualified and the unqualified ones. You could filter by what's being worked on right now.
Yeah, I mean, I love what Justin just put in there. This is the future of roofing. I truly believe that.
Hmm.
It's it's the way everything in our life is going to go, right? I call it the Amazon effect, right? Everybody orders from Amazon. I expect things from Amazon the next day,
Yeah,
right? If it takes longer than 2 days to get to me from Amazon, I'm like pissed, right? Like, I'm like,
more
what do
than
you mean?
one day.
Yeah, what
I
do you mean it's taking like 3 days for me to get this? This is crazy. Like, I'll buy it from somebody else. Like, I'll literally go through Amazon and figure out how I can get it the quickest, right? Because
exactly.
we're all instant gratification now, and now this is the ability to do instant gratification roofing, right? And it's like, it's obviously the way that society is going, and I think, as an industry, we're going to have to learn to play along, and I think this is the first step in that direction, right? Like, this is the future of roofing. I truly believe that, of developing a situation where if I choose to, as a customer, I can go there and buy a roof without ever even talking to you, really. Like, you'll be able to not even come out if you don't want, right? If I just say, hey, yeah, I went on there and filled out your instant estimator, go ahead and shoot me a proposal. Okay, great. Let me do it, right? I'll pull up a measurement really quick. I'll create a proposal and I'll shoot it over via email. You guys review it. Let me know if you have any questions.
And yeah, that's a really cool thing too. Kind of going to what Justin says real quick is that yes, if you do have those tire kickers, direct them to the site. It doesn't take any time. It's 26 seconds. You could see if they're like if they're worth it. If they click on yes, I'd like a proposal. Now you know that they understand that price and they're interested more. So let's follow up. If they don't click on it and the lead comes in, just disqualify it because it's not a qualified lead. It's really kind of making sure that you're spending your time on what is worthwhile for you and your company. Let's not spend so much time on admin and building this all out. Have this kind of streamline in. Here's another cool thing that we didn't touch about, Pete, too. So it goes towards Justin stuff. So if that tire kicker comes in and says, hey, I'm on your site, I didn't click I'd like a proposal, but I really like that system. I think I want to go for it. And they didn't put their information in, you can go and you can put in your own leads.
Yep.
You could now add in leads manually if they don't come to the website. So this is not just a lead aggregator for your website, for your social post, for your marketing blast or anything like that. It could be a phone call that came in saying that this person's name is here we are. We can just say like it's Felix Potvin, right? Very famous hockey goalie from the 1990s for the Toronto Maple Leafs. My favorite player,
Well,
Felix.
I love this. I love this part because how many times are you in a situation where you're putting a roof on a house
Mm,
and the neighbor comes out, right? And says like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" You know what I mean? And now maybe you pick up the neighbor as a lead, right? Rather than even having to direct them to the site and have them run through the instant estimator, you could either do it on the spot or you could just hit this and plug their information right in, right?
yeah,
Maybe you're able to create a quote right there on the spot for them. So throw them in there, qualify them, run them through the process right there on the spot. And maybe before you even finish the roof you're on, you potentially could have landed another job across the street.
yeah. It's so cool because you could literally type in everything here, and you have this here. This is their information. You're putting this in as you speak. It automatically kicks out these numbers. If I change this to 2,500, look at that number change at the bottom
Yeah.
automatically. So you don't have to put them through the whole rigmarole, which I recommend it because it's fun, it's cool, it's interactive. But if you just put it in here and they just want a quick number, you're like, I'm looking at that roof. It's probably 1,600 square feet. Oh, there's a shed in the back. Let's make it 1,800. And the prices are being built out right now. That customer wants asphalt. That's all good, and I'm saving that. We've really opened up the door to do anything from phone calls, from door knocking, from everything there, that it's going to streamline that process even more.
Yeah. And let's be honest, if I'm a new roofer, maybe I don't have things like a CRM in place yet. Maybe I don't have, a ton of platforms or a ton of tech in my business. And maybe I'm doing everything by hand right now. Here you go. Like this is essentially a starter CRM, right? Like this is your sales platform, right here. Like this is everything you need, right? Keep track of your leads. You have the status of the leads right there. Once you're ready to go, they become a job. And then you go ahead and do what you got to do. You pull your measurement, you pull your proposal, work them on down through the process, get a signed contract and go, right? So if I'm a small guy or just a brand new starter roofer, this is a tool that could do everything I needed to do in one package right here.
We want to drive down your costs on your day to day so that you could service more people, you could hire more people, you can grow your company. We know that small companies getting started, the price to entry is very low, but the amount of people that succeed past that 2 to 5 year mark is very slim. I don't know if everybody watching this knows, but small and medium sized businesses in roofing, they fail with I think an 85% rate within the first 2 to 5 years. This is something that we can do as roofers ourselves. Pete and I have been in construction a long, long time, and we're very passionate about this industry. Drive down the cost while increasing your efficiency so you can close more, get more jobs, get over that hump, and get out to building out a successful company so you could have a family and everything safe with that. But you could also take this kind of tool, put it into like an enterprise, large company, like a $40 million company. Maybe it's you just want to get that sales and increase it a little bit more. Boom, you add this in, it's going to increase your efficiency and allow you to get over that number. It's going to help you guys out no matter if you're big, if you're small, and we're going to be able to drive down the cost in your day to day and be able to streamline this now. The cool thing, Pete, we've mentioned so many things like what can this be used for? Your website. your social posts, your YouTubes, your ads, your door knockers, your yard signs, like everything that you need, your canvassing, your scouting. It
Yeah.
could be put
Your
into
trade
every
show,
situation. Your
right?
trade shows, your
Like,
neighbors, nosy neighbors knocking on the door when you're doing the roof, just being like, "Hey, Mr. Roofer, can you give me a quote?" Yep, here you go.
yeah, it's literally going to capture every scenario. It's going to open so many doors, and it makes it so easy to do that, right? The name of the game today is consolidating all this stuff, right? Like we've got so much tech. How do I consolidate some of this stuff? Like you said, drive the cost down a little bit, keep us efficient, right? Or make us more efficient without spending a fortune, right? This is it. This is the tool. Like this thing is literally got so many use cases. Like it'd be crazy not to use it, right? To employ it in the business and have it just feeding us leads, right? And we can quickly dish these leads out. Our sales guys can maximize their efforts because we're qualifying these leads up front before them. It's just there's just so much use case for this, and so many things, so many positives around it. Uh, it just makes sense. I mean, it just makes perfect sense to use this thing, and we're
Yeah.
excited about it. Like it's kind of a no brainer for us. I think it's a great tool, and definitely one of the more innovative things that we've come up with at Roofr, and we're really, I think, collectively as a team, we're very excited about this one.
It's really cool to kind of be able to bring this back. Like we started it off with going, it's back, and it's better. It's so much fun that we could actually get this out to you guys and start this going. I saw one of the questions in the comments: is there like a beta or an intro version? If you guys have that meeting link at the top of the comments bar there, book a meeting with your account executive or your customer support representative or manager rather, and we'd be able to show you what we can do here. We do are working through some things to kind of get it ready for market and get it out there, but we could start to talk about what we can do for the future for you guys to come in, because it's going to be coming out soon, and be able to help you with this. And going back to just driving traffic again, you have all these guys out on the websites that are there to help, that have great businesses like Michael Stern from Ascend Digital. You talk to someone like that who could drive more traffic to your site. The more traffic that you send to your site, the more leads that are going to come in through this instant estimator, the more that you can qualify. It's like baseball, more at bats. We're just going to be hitting
Right.
for 1,000 instead of 300.
Well, I love it, guys. I mean, we're a little bit over on time, I think, here, Nick. Like, we got going on this thing and we love it. So we could
Yeah,
probably talk about it all night. But, we really appreciate everybody jumping on. We hope that this has been really informational for everybody, that you guys have really got, all the information that you need around it. I mean, we're super excited. We're really looking forward to pushing this out the door for you guys to jump on. And, like Nick said, the link's right there, or feel free to reach out to us at any time. Nick, myself, anybody on the sales team or on the success side, if you're currently a user, jump on there, ask any questions that, let us help you out, right? Use us as a resource. We always say it, take advantage of the fact that we're talking to roofers all day and we've got the knowledge, and, that's where a lot of these products come from. Right. So, definitely hit us up, and, we're super excited to get this out the door to you guys.
yeah. I just dropped the link in the Q&A there in the chat. It's roofr.com/estimator. That will bring you to the page. There's a little video to kind of show you that flow that we went through as well. You can click on learn more and book a meeting with one of your reps. We're more than excited to talk to everybody here. We're so happy this is back, and thank you for all for joining.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time on the Roofr Masterclass.
See ya.